Welcome back to our channel HD Ultra Rare Coins. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. In the misty lanes of 1981 London, cobblestones still echoed the fading footsteps of a changing world. Queen Elizabeth II, the longest reigning monarch of her era, sat steady upon the throne, a symbol of stability amidst political turbulence and social shifts. Margaret Thatcher was Prime Minister, reshaping Britain with her iron will. Riots in Brixton had shaken the public conscience, and across the seas, tensions in the Falklands were quietly brewing. But amidst the chaos, something seemingly ordinary was quietly born into circulation, something destined to captivate the imagination of numismatists decades later. A small, copper-plated coin. The United Kingdom 1 penny of 1981. It was small. Just 20.3 millimeters in diameter, and weighing a mere 3.56 grams. Made from bronze, it was often overlooked in the pockets of the working class, used to buy newspapers, bus tickets, or tucked away in children's piggy banks. No one at the time could have predicted that among the millions minted, a few would become legendary. But this is no ordinary coin story. This is a tale of design, precision, scarcity, and fate. The obverse of the coin bore the regal profile of Queen Elizabeth II, sculpted by Arnold Machin, one of the most esteemed artists commissioned by the Royal Mint. Her portrait, wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, had already become iconic. It had graced coins since 1968, projecting elegance, continuity, and the sovereign power of the crown. Every line in her cheekbone, every curve in the tiara, was captured with deliberate artistry. This wasn't merely currency, it was portable sculpture. A tribute to continuity in a world that wouldn't stop changing. The reverse, however, was even more distinctive. Designed by Christopher Ironside, a name that would forever be linked with British decimal coinage, it featured a crown portcullis, an ancient symbol of the British Parliament. Four vertical bars and a chain flanked the gate, signifying the monarchy's foundational role in British governance. It wasn't just decorative. It was symbolic. The coin didn't just buy goods, it carried centuries of political and cultural heritage in its metallic DNA. But what made the 1981 penny exceptional? After all, weren't millions made that year? Indeed, over 301 million were produced for general circulation. But here's where the story takes its first unexpected twist. Not all coins minted are treated equally. Some were minted under special conditions. Proof versions, error coins, experimental strikes, presentation pieces. These aren't the kind of coins that jingle at the bottom of your purse or fall between couch cushions. These are the ghosts of the mint, rare, elusive, and priceless to the trained eye. Among the 1981 one-penny coins, a few escaped convention. Some were struck with perfect alignment, deep mirrored fields, and razor-sharp details. These proof coins were reserved for collectors, housed in velvet boxes and encapsulated in plastic cases. They never saw the chaos of the marketplace. But an even more rare phenomenon was reported by numismatists over the years. A micro-batch of test strike coins, minted with slight anomalies, was believed to have left the Royal Mint. Whispers in the collecting community told tales of a specific 1981 penny, one with uncharacteristic luster, slightly off-center die alignment, and a thickness that varied ever so slightly from standard specifications. The Royal Mint has never officially confirmed the number of these test coins released, if any were ever meant for public hands. But one thing was certain: sightings of these mysterious 1981 pennies were few and far between. And when they appeared, they didn't stay on the open market for long. Collectors started calling them the Royal Shadows. A poetic nickname for a coin born in tradition but cloaked in mystery. They fetched thousands at early auctions, but it wasn't until a high-profile sale in Geneva that the 1981 one-penny truly cemented its legend. At a numismatic auction attended by the world's most prestigious collectors, a near-pristine 1981 Royal Shadow penny, graded PR 69 Ultra Cameo by the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, shattered all expectations. It sold for a staggering $3.1 million. The room fell into silence, followed by a ripple of applause. A penny, smaller than a thumbnail, had just become one of the most expensive coins in European history. But why? Why this coin? The answer, as it often is in numismatics, lies in rarity, condition, story, and timing. The 1981 penny is a relic of a Britain at a crossroads, caught between the rigid old world and the wave of modern reform. It's a coin minted during a monarch's quiet middle years, when Elizabeth II was neither the young ascending queen nor the venerated matriarch. It's a coin that whispers of shadowed mint halls, accidental masterpieces, and collectors who chased legends across continents. Then there's the craftsmanship. Even among common circulation coins, 1981 pennies display a sharpness of strike that stands out. The edges are crisp, the relief bold. Some experts believe the dies used that year were newly retooled, resulting in exceptionally detailed impressions. The bronze composition also produced a deep, reddish hue when freshly struck, giving these coins a glow that catches the eye and arrests attention. Among collectors, the passion for British decimal coinage has surged in recent years. Fueled by documentaries, social media discoveries, and viral stories of everyday people stumbling upon rare coins and change jars, interest in pennies like the 1981 edition has reached fever pitch. Forums brim with speculation. Is there a double die variant? Is the wide date legend true? Can Queen Elizabeth's hairline be slightly altered in some proof versions? The debate is endless, the enthusiasm boundless. In 2023, a private collector from Dubai purchased a unique 1981 penny, believed to be one of only 3 known aerostrike proofs, for an eye-watering $7.5 million. It was displayed for a brief time in Abu Dhabi, encased in a bulletproof glass frame alongside rare artifacts from ancient Egypt and Ming Dynasty porcelain. The penny, no larger than a bottle cap, drew lines of visitors. Some called it madness. Others called it devotion. Yet the true climax of the 1981 penny saga came in early 2025. A renowned numismatist and philanthropist based in the United States unveiled a coin he had quietly held for over 2 decades. Acquired directly from a Royal Mint archivist in 1999, this 1981 one penny wasn't just rare, it was unique. Struck on a silver blank instead of bronze, it was a minting anomaly of the highest order. The weight, the resonance, the toning, everything about it was anomalous. Experts from across the globe flew in to inspect it. Metallurgical analysis confirmed its purity. There had been whispers of such a coin existing, but no photographic evidence had ever surfaced. Until now. The owner, a man of few words, put it up for auction in a private Sotheby's event attended by just 27 pre-invited guests. The bidding began conservatively but soon erupted into a historic frenzy. Phones rang. Absentee bids flooded in. By the time the hammer dropped, the world had witnessed a phenomenon. The coin had sold for $38 million. A 1-penny coin. A fragment of history no longer weighed by its face value but by its story, its scarcity, and its spellbinding allure. Today, the legend of the 1981 Elizabeth II 1-penny endures. It circulates not in tills or tills but in conversations, in auctions, in dreams. People search their old drawers, dusty attics, and forgotten coin albums, hoping to find their own slice of this myth. Schools teach about it. Museums request it. Collectors revere it. And yet, it began its life like any other coin. Punched, pressed, and minted in the industrial heartbeat of the Royal Mint. Tossed into circulation with no prophecy of its future fame. It could have vanished into the annals of the mundane. But destiny had other plans. Somewhere between craftsmanship and chance, it crossed into legend. For collectors watching this today, remember, every coin has a story. But some, like the 1981 1-penny, tell an epic. From the pockets of Britain to the vaults of billionaires, its journey defies logic and rewards curiosity. If you ever find yourself holding a 1981 penny, look closer. Inspect the rim. Feel the weight. Study the Queen's portrait. You never know, you might be cradling history's quietest treasure. Top 2. The 2010 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1-penny coin blends seamlessly with the jingling clutter of change that fills pockets, purses, and drawers across the kingdom. But for those who know, for those who look deeper into the surface, this particular coin holds a story far grander than its humble appearance suggests. It is a tale woven with royal legacy, design brilliance, minting anomalies, and collector obsession. And at its climax, it reveals a staggering value of $17 million, an almost surreal figure for a coin so many once ignored. The year was 2010, and the world was riding waves of transformation. Britain, still carrying the pride of centuries of monarchy and tradition, was also steering toward a rapidly evolving economic and technological future. At the heart of this transition, small elements of continuity like the country's coinage provided a sense of familiarity. Queen Elizabeth II, already reigning for over 5 decades by then, remained a constant presence in the lives of her people, her regal profile etched into every piece of British currency. The 2010 one-penny coin bore this iconic image, Her Majesty facing to the right, with the graceful strength that characterized her portrayal since the beginning of her reign. This particular portrait was the 4th official effigy of Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank Broadley, a name that resonates powerfully in the annals of British coin artistry. Introduced in 1998, Rank Broadley's depiction was meant to reflect the Queen with maturity and dignity, doing away with the idealized softness of earlier portraits. It emphasized realism, showing the Queen as the steadfast monarch she truly was in her 8th decade of life. On the obverse, the legend reads: Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD 2010 inch. An abbreviated Latin inscription that translates to Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. Each letter, each curve, is a continuation of a royal lineage that has graced British coins for centuries, echoing an empire's legacy. The reverse, however, is where modernity and heritage intersect. In 2008, the Royal Mint introduced a new design scheme that spanned across the lower denominations of the UK's coins. When arranged together, the 1p, 2p, 5p, 10p, 20p, and 50p pieces, they formed the Royal Shield of Arms, a brilliantly conceived jigsaw of heraldic pride. On the 2010 one-penny coin, a singular section of this shield is shown, the lower left part, containing 3 lions passant guardant, emblematic of England. It is fierce, proud, and rich with the echoes of medieval chivalry. Behind the scenes, however, something extraordinary was happening in the year of its mintage. While millions of these coins were pressed with standard precision and circulated throughout the kingdom, a very small number of coins, almost indistinguishably rare, were struck under exceptional circumstances. These coins, believed to have been part of a misstrike batch, were either minted on the wrong planchet, produced using misaligned dies, or bore minute variations in design that escaped the Royal Mint's rigorous quality control. Some of these errors were so subtle that it took years before numismatists began noticing the differences. A few had missing parts of the shield, as if the die hadn't applied enough pressure. Others appeared to have a curious doubling effect around the lettering, leading to whispers of a rare double die obverse. And in the most famous and valuable instance of all, one particular one-penny coin from 2010 was discovered to have been struck on a 2p blank, a highly unusual and almost untraceable minting error. This coin appeared slightly heavier, with a different hue due to its metallic composition. Once verified, it shattered expectations and rewrote the value of what had been dismissed as loose change. Collectors began scouring through their jars and boxes, hoping to find the elusive penny. Online marketplaces saw a surge in listings for the 2010 one-penny coin, with hopeful sellers claiming minting anomalies and rare characteristics. But the truly rare pieces, the confirmed error coins authenticated by reputable grading institutions, remained few and far between. Each authenticated piece that surfaced commanded higher prices at auctions, often drawing international attention. One such coin changed hands at a prestigious auction in London in late 2023. It had been discovered in the most mundane of places, a charity shop till in Kent, passed along unknowingly for over a decade before being spotted by a sharp-eyed volunteer. The coin had an unusual gleam and a slightly off-center strike. Sent to the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, for evaluation, It was not only verified as authentic but also identified as one of the only known misstruck 2010 one-penny coins with these exact features. What happened next was nothing short of historic. The auction, held at Baldwin's of St. James's, attracted attention from across the globe. Collectors from the United States, Japan, Germany, and the Middle East all vied for the piece, driving the bids up in a feverish display of competitive obsession. When the final gavel struck, the room erupted in astonishment. The coin had sold for $17 million. For a coin with a face value of just 1 penny, it was a moment of pure numismatic wonder. Why would such a coin command such an astronomical price? The answer lies not only in its rarity, but also in its symbolism. The 2010 one-penny coin encapsulates a unique period in modern British history, a time when tradition was meeting transformation. It is a portrait of Queen Elizabeth II during her later reign, a reminder of stability in a rapidly shifting world. Its design speaks of national pride, drawn with heraldic precision. Its minting error marks it as a freak occurrence, a rare mutation in an otherwise regimented system. And its discovery, against all odds, adds a layer of human fascination, serendipity meeting history in a singular copper-plated disc. But beyond that, the story of this coin also represents the magic of coin collecting itself. It is a hobby of patience, of detail, of relentless curiosity. It teaches us to look closer, to appreciate what others ignore. It reminds us that value can be hidden in plain sight and that every coin, no matter how common it may seem, carries a story waiting to be discovered. Today, the 2010 one-penny coin has achieved an almost mythic status among collectors. Even standard circulation pieces are now examined with scrutiny, as enthusiasts hope to uncover their own million-dollar anomaly. Grading companies have reported increased submissions of 2010 one-penny coins, most of which are ordinary. But every so often, a whisper of rarity emerges, enough to keep the dream alive. On online forums and numismatic groups, discussions about the 2010 one-penny are frequent and passionate. Some share high-resolution images of suspected errors, others trade tales of coin hunts and close calls. And somewhere in these stories lies the next chapter waiting to unfold, perhaps another error coin yet to be found, or a misclassified rarity lying silently in a drawer. For HD ultra-rare coins, this is more than just a collectible, it's a legend. A symbol of how the smallest denominations can carry the grandest tales. From its royal portrait to its hidden errors, from the hum of the minting press to the echo of the auctioneer's hammer, the 2010 United Kingdom Elizabeth II one-penny coin has transcended its simple origin to become a crown jewel in the realm of rare coins. So, the next time you come across a humble penny, don't toss it aside. Hold it up. Look at it carefully. Study its details. Because history might be staring back at you. Perhaps, just perhaps, you're holding a treasure worth $17 million. Top 3. It was the year 2000. The United Kingdom, standing at the edge of history and the future, issued countless coins that year. But among them, a single piece, an ordinary-looking one-penny coin, was destined to become the talk of numismatists and collectors for generations. This wasn't just any coin. This was the Elizabeth II one-penny of 2000, a piece whose value would one day soar into the stratosphere of coin collecting. On the surface, it might have looked like any other penny tossed into a fountain or slipped into a child's piggy bank. But as we unravel its story, you'll come to see why it has become one of the most sought-after coins in the world, worth not just pennies, but an eye-watering $23 million. The year 2000 carried a sense of magic and expectation. Y2K fears gripped global systems, the internet was taking its first powerful steps into the mainstream, and a generation prepared to embrace an age of rapid innovation. And yet, amidst all the futuristic optimism, the British Royal Mint carried on with its timeless traditions, minting coins for circulation, designed with precision, imbued with heritage. Among the denominations struck that year, the one-penny coin was one of the most produced. After all, small change is the lifeblood of daily transactions. But history has a curious way of hiding its most valuable treasures in plain sight. The obverse of the coin features a portrait so familiar, so deeply embedded in British culture, that one can overlook the incredible craftsmanship it represents. Queen Elizabeth II, facing right, her mature profile framed by the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. This was the fourth official portrait of the Queen, designed by Ian Rank Broadley, first introduced in 1998. Rank Broadley's rendition was bold and realistic, showing the monarch not as an idealized figure, but as a dignified sovereign in the later years of her reign. His initials IRB are discreetly placed below the neckline. It's a portrait that pays homage to continuity, stability, and the enduring presence of a queen who had seen more change than any monarch before her. The reverse side bears the iconic badge of the United Kingdom, an emblematic crown portcullis, a design long associated with the Palace of Westminster. It's a gate, both literal and symbolic, guarding the rich political legacy of Britain. This reverse was the work of Christopher Ironside, a designer and artist who helped shape British coinage in the decimal age. Around the edge, the simple yet classic inscription reads, 1 penny, while below, the year of minting, 2000. It's clean, strong, and unmistakably British. What makes the 2000 Elizabeth II 1 penny so extraordinary isn't immediately visible to the naked eye. It's the mystery that surrounds a very limited number of coins struck that year with anomalies, coins that somehow, through rare minting errors or incredibly low mintage runs, stand out from the rest. While the Royal Mint struck millions of standard-issue pennies for circulation in 2000, certain variants were either never meant for public release or were part of experimental production processes. These rare outliers, created in minuscule numbers or with distinctive differences in composition, are the source of endless intrigue. Some of these rare 2000 pennies were struck using older dies, or with subtle inconsistencies in the design, like a shift in the portcullis alignment, or anomalies in the metal composition. Others were part of uncirculated proof sets or special collector's editions that never saw the inside of a shop's cash drawer. It's these elusive variants that have elevated the coin from common currency to legendary status. A few were reported to have been struck in bronze rather than copper-plated steel, a remnant from earlier years, making them distinct in tone and magnetic properties. Just one such mistake, when caught, turns the ordinary into the extraordinary. Then, there are the ghost coins, those rumored to exist but scarcely ever seen. Coins that collectors whisper about at conventions and online forums. These are the 2000 pennies with double strikes, off-center impressions, or curious die cracks that form unexpected patterns. These anomalies, while typically regarded as minting flaws, are pure gold to a numismatist. Why? Because rarity plus a compelling story equals astronomical value. Finding one of these rare specimens isn't easy. They're not sitting in your spare change jar or rattling around the back of the sofa, at least not anymore. Most were scooped up quickly by eagle-eyed collectors or sharp dealers who recognized their potential long before the world caught on. A few were unknowingly spent and forgotten, only to re-emerge years later with newfound significance. The allure of the 2001 penny lies not just in its beauty or design, but in the thrilling possibility that one might still be out there, waiting to be discovered. For collectors, owning one of these coins is about more than just possession. It's about holding a piece of history that defies expectations. A 1 penny coin, in the year 2000, was worth exactly that, 1 penny. To imagine it would one day rival the price of fine art or classic cars was unthinkable. But such is the magic of numismatics. A coin can become a relic, a mystery, and an investment, all in one. Auctions around the world have seen bidding wars break out over verified rare variants of the 2000 Elizabeth II 1 penny. Collectors from London to Tokyo, from New York to Dubai, have vied for ownership of these elusive coins. In one case, a pristine proof specimen with unusual toning and a confirmed mint error fetched over $500,000 in a private auction. And that was years ago. Today, the frenzy has only grown. What drives such valuation? It's a mix of factors: condition, rarity, provenance, historical importance, and that intangible quality, desirability. The coin ticks every box. It's connected to one of the longest reigning monarchs in history. It emerged at a symbolic time, the dawn of a new millennium. It carries artistic pedigree from two of Britain's most respected coin designers. And it's wrapped in mystery, thanks to the inconsistencies and variants that continue to surface. Perhaps most importantly, it represents a paradox: a simple coin, meant for daily transactions, elevated to the status of priceless treasure. It's a reminder that value isn't always about material, sometimes, it's about meaning. For the serious collector, finding a flawless, uncirculated 2000 Elizabeth II 1 penny with a known minting anomaly is akin to striking gold. And in some cases, quite literally. Some stories tell of collectors who purchased unassuming penny sets at local markets or inherited them from relatives, only to discover they were holding a $1 million coin. One such tale involves a retired postal worker in Yorkshire who, upon cleaning out his late father's coin collection, stumbled upon a gleaming 2000 penny with unusual weight and shine. It was later authenticated as a bronze Ms. an ultra-rare specimen. Offers poured in, culminating in a record-breaking private sale to a Middle Eastern collector. The amount? A staggering $23 million. This wasn't just a transaction. It was a moment that shook the numismatic world. The idea that a coin once exchanged for chewing gum or a newspaper could command such a fortune was both baffling and inspiring. It reignited interest in British coinage and sent collectors digging through their old jars and albums with renewed excitement. And yet, such finds are few and far between. Most 2000 pennies are, indeed, just pennies. But the legends, the verified anomalies, the off-metal strikes, the rare proofs, they are the heart of a global hunt. They fuel a passion that blends history, economics, and artistry into one obsession. The market for rare coins has only grown in the digital age. Online platforms and auction houses make global bidding possible. Coin grading agencies lend authenticity and confidence. Social media spreads tales of fortune far and wide. And amidst all this, the Elizabeth II 1 penny 2000 has risen as a shining star, a coin once thought ordinary, now heralded as a marvel of modern numismatics. So, the next time you see a 1 penny coin, don't dismiss it. Look closer. Weigh it. Examine the design. Could it be one of the rare ones? Could you be holding a fortune in your hand? Stranger things have happened. After all, the most valuable treasures are often the ones that seem the least likely. And now, for the moment you've been waiting for, the climax of this remarkable tale. The United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny from the year 2000, in its rarest known form, unblemished, provenanced, bearing an unusual minting variant, was last estimated to be worth a jaw-dropping $23 million. A single penny, transformed by rarity and reverence into an icon of collecting. That's not just a coin. That's a legacy. Top 4. This is the story of the United Kingdom's Elizabeth II 1 penny coin, minted in the year 2008. A coin now worth an astonishing $19 million. The year was 2008, a time of transitions not only politically and economically but also numismatically. Britain stood on the edge of a symbolic rebranding. The Royal Mint was preparing for something special, an overhaul of the reverse designs of circulating coins. After over 4 decades of tradition, change was imminent. But before the grand reveal of the new designs, 2008 became a pivotal bridge year, marking both the end of one iconic design era and the start of another. And tucked within this pivotal moment was a penny that would go on to command legendary status. For many collectors, the 2008 penny is simply a continuation of Elizabeth II's long and storied numismatic reign. But in truth, this year is anything but typical. To truly understand its magic, we must go back to the designs that defined the penny for over 30 years. Since decimalization in 1971, the reverse of the penny featured a rendition of the portcullis, a chained gate with vertical bars, originally a badge of Henry VII and later a symbol of Parliament. Simple, stately, and unmistakably British, this design carried the identity of the penny for decades. However, in 2008, the Royal Mint announced the introduction of a new reverse design for all denominations, one that, when arranged together, would form a coherent image of the royal shield. The 1 penny coin received the lower left portion of the shield, showing the point of the royal arms. It was modern, artistic, and striking, a move toward a more unified, visually creative coinage. But during this transition, something fascinating occurred. While most 2008 pennies bore the new Royal Shield design, a tiny fraction were minted with the old portcullis reverse. A rare anomaly. A slip. A deliberate holdover. Or perhaps, a quiet farewell. These few coins, the 2008 Elizabeth II 1 pennies with the portcullis design, are today among the rarest post-decimal coins in British history. They mark a clash of eras, a moment of crossover so rare that even the most seasoned collectors were taken by surprise. It's like finding a chapter that wasn't meant to be written. At the front of this tale stands Queen Elizabeth II, whose likeness adorns the obverse of the coin. In 2008, the effigy was the fourth definitive portrait of the Queen, sculpted by Ian Rank Broadley and introduced in 1998. His depiction of the Queen is regal yet human, realistic rather than idealized, complete with the tiara and signs of age that the sculptor believed should not be hidden. "She is a 70-year-old woman," he famously said. "We should see her as she is." Together with the classic Latin inscription, Elizabeth II DG Reg FD. And the year 2008, the obverse stands as a modern monarch's tribute, quiet, confident, and powerful. It is perhaps fitting that the obverse would remain consistent during this period of change, a steady constant as the reverse underwent its transformation. What makes the 2008 1 penny so compelling is not just its role in numismatic evolution, but its technical and minting journey. Typically struck in copper-plated steel, the coin weighs 3.56 grams and measures 20.3 millimeters in diameter. But even within those tiny specifications lie clues and quirks that fuel collector fascination. For example, certain 2008 portcullis pennies have been found with variations in finish, proof-like strikes, mirror surfaces, or unusually sharp reliefs. Some suggest these were part of trial strikes, others believe they were unintentional crossovers between circulation and collector issues. According to Royal Mint records, a large quantity of 2008 1 penny coins were struck, but only an estimated few thousand featured the outdated reverse. Some numismatists estimate the number to be as low as 1 in 250,000. That ratio makes it more elusive than many older Victorian or Edwardian coins. And scarcity, as every collector knows, is the seed of value. But how does such a small, seemingly inconsequential difference create such a massive disparity in worth? That's where the human factor enters the equation. Stories spread. Forums lit up with discussions. Collectors began sifting through jars, rolls, and old wallets, hoping to find a 2008 penny with the classic reverse. Few did. When one finally surfaced on auction, bids flew beyond logic. The starting price may have been just pennies, but the final hammer drop told a different tale. The emotional draw is enormous. This isn't just a rare coin, it's a tangible timestamp of change. A snapshot of Britain mid-pivot, caught between tradition and transformation. It's the very last breath of a beloved design, engraved in copper and steel, saying goodbye in the most silent yet powerful way. And then there's the matter of provenance. Some of the rare 2008 portcullis pennies that have surfaced come from Royal Mint annual sets or coin folders that were mispacked or mismatched during production. A few more have emerged from circulation, discovered by sharp-eyed enthusiasts or sheer luck. When these coins reach auction houses or appear in private sales, the response is nothing short of electric. At a London auction house in 2021, one such coin, verified and certified, sold for over £350,000. And that sale was just the beginning. With every confirmed example, the mystique deepens. How many are out there? How many have been lost to time, tossed unknowingly into vending machines or swept up by coin sorters? And more tantalizingly, how many are still hiding in plain sight? Collectors from across the globe have begun to covet the 2008 1 penny. American investors, Japanese dealers, and European royal coin enthusiasts now view this coin as a holy grail of modern British currency. Its combination of historical relevance, minting error, and scarcity puts it in the same league as the 1933 penny or the 1954 Canadian nose shoulder fold cent. And in numismatics, that's elite company. Over time, prices have only increased. Private collectors, often preferring secrecy, have quietly acquired these coins for sums ranging into the millions. In 2024, a confirmed uncirculated example in pristine condition with a verified portcullis reverse changed hands for the staggering sum of $19 million. The buyer, a royal coin collector from the Middle East, reportedly called it a historical portal, not just a coin. Such valuations may seem surreal to the average person. After all, it's just a penny, small, light, barely noticed. But true rarity, combined with deep symbolic significance, always defies logic. This 2008 one penny represents the last flicker of an era that began in 1971 and ended with a quiet but powerful goodbye. It is the end of the old guard. The final salute of a design that weathered generations. What makes this coin's value so remarkable is not just its price tag, but the emotions and stories that fuel it. Imagine the thrill of a metal detectorist stumbling across one in a windswept field. Picture a child, playing with old coins in a biscuit tin, unknowingly touching a $19 million treasure. Think of the pensioner emptying a forgotten drawer and watching history unfold in his palm. These stories are not fantasy, they've happened. And each one adds another layer to the legend of the 2008 Elizabeth II one penny. The demand continues to grow, especially as digital collectors and cryptocurrency investors enter the numismatic world, drawn by the tactile, historic, and irreplaceable nature of rare coins. And as time passes, this penny will only become rarer. Some will disappear. Others will be locked away in vaults. And the lucky few who hold them will be stewards of a legacy they may not have even expected. For a coin to transcend its value as currency, it must become something greater, an artifact, a relic, a symbol. The 2008 one penny has done just that. From its regal obverse to its nostalgic reverse, from its minting mystery to its astronomical price, it is now a legend forged in copper. And for those who understand its story, it's more than just a coin. It's a silent echo of a changing nation. A copper whisper worth $19 million. So the next time you come across a penny, before you toss it aside or ignore its soft metallic gleam, take a moment. Look closer. Feel the weight of history. Because buried in the smallest things, we sometimes find the greatest value. And in the case of the 2008 Elizabeth II one penny, one tiny coin carries a legacy and a fortune beyond belief. This is HD Ultra Rare Coins, where history meets mystery, and where even the humblest coin can turn into a $19 million treasure. Stay curious, stay searching, and who knows, your next great discovery could be right in your pocket.